everyone. Father Matt here with today's Gospel reflection for Tuesday, March 24th, Tuesday of the fourth week of Lent. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. There was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is in Jerusalem at the sheep gate a pool called in Hebrew Bethesda, with 5 porticos. In these lay a large number of ill, blind, lame, and crippled. One man was there who had been ill for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had been ill for a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be well?" The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up. While I am on my way, someone else gets down there before me." Jesus said to him, "Rise, take up your mat and walk." Immediately the man became well, took up his mat, and walked. Now that day was a Sabbath. So the Jews said to the man who was cured, "It is the Sabbath, and it is not lawful for you to carry your mat." He answered them, "The man who made me well told me, 'Take up your mat and walk.'" They asked him, "Who is the man who told you, 'Take it up and walk'?" The man who was healed did not know who it was, for Jesus had slipped away since there was a crowd there. After this, Jesus found him in the temple area and said to him, "Look, you are well. Do not sin anymore, so that nothing worse may happen to you." The man went and told the Jews that Jesus was the one who had made him well. Therefore, the Jews began to persecute Jesus because he did this on a Sabbath. The Gospel of the Lord. I think that today's Gospel teaches us something very important about Jesus and about ourselves as well. You know, the great consolation Jesus offers in the Gospel is by his example, just the tremendous mercy that he shows to this man who had been ill for so long. You know, how deeply he desires to heal him, not only physically, but spiritually as well. And I think that this is a great joy for us to keep in mind in the midst of everything going on, you know, that the Lord remains present and remains eager and willing to heal us, both in body and in soul. You know, this gospel story also invites us to reflect on our own lives. You know, when Jesus asked this man if he wants to be well, he reveals that there was no one to help him down to the pools. And very often, perhaps in our own lives, we can operate in a way that is very self-centered, right? That is overly self-interested. We can forget the people who are in greater need than us, you know. And Jesus, in his healing, in his seeing of this man on the margins, I think invites us to reflect on our lives and to really be more mindful of those around us who are in greater need. So perhaps the challenge that the Lord offers us in today's gospel is twofold. First, to bring to him those areas of our hearts and of our lives that are in need of healing, trusting that he can and will bring about in us a great renewal of spirit, of body. And also an invitation perhaps to think of at least one person in our sphere who could be in use of a lift, right? Who could be in use of some encouragement. So think of someone right now who might be in need of a healing word, right? Of a loving encounter. And when we're finished here, perhaps you can reach out to them and remind them of your love, of your concern for them. Because in doing this, the Lord reveals his own love, not only for those to whom we reach out, but to us as well, and reveals just the many wonderful things that he can do in our hearts and in our lives if we're willing to accept his healing love.